So from the very beginning, there was difficulty in communicating with the IRS as Mr. Smith was the primary taxpayer listed on the returns. All the correspondence was mailed to his address of record, and his solution to IRS mail was to essentially just throw it in a pile of unopened mail. Mrs. Smith was forced to rely upon copies of old payment arrangement bills to be able to send in the payments. And she didn't get any standard communication about the account except for the annual summary that was sent to both parties. In 2008 or 2009, Miss Smith asserts that Mr. Smith negotiated his own payment plan with the IRS, which included the 2002 joint tax amounts, which was done without Mrs. Smith's permission or a CAF covering her. From transcripts on the account, it appears that he made only maybe a handful of payments before defaulting on that agreement. So again, being the secondary taxpayer on the accounts, Ms. Smith says she did not receive any information or correspondence on the matter, and that she was left unaware that there were any pending issues. Then in 2013, when the matter was in the most final stages of collections and the recovery agents are demanding payment in full of over $10,000 within weeks, how can anyone think it's reasonable to refuse to send regular communications to a secondary divorced spouse, yet then somehow find it proper to contact them when the account is so far gone as to have very few options to resolve the issue? Ms. Smith is certainly not the only divorced person in the United States to have an uncooperative spouse who is a primary on a tax return where there's a balance due. The IRS had clearly, for at least a decade, continued to willfully fail to provide timely and relevant communication to secondary filers, which severely limits their options in handling those issues.